What is that? 3 in 1.
I had Mum's specialty.
You had what?
Mum.
Mama what?
Specialty.
What's her specialty?
For me, crackers with peanut butter and strawberry jam.
Oh, is that what she used to make for you? You remember that?
Yep. They're good.
She's loved by a lot of people. A lot of people are angry that she's not here anymore.
Oh.
Are you angry that she's not here anymore? Why are who angry?
The people that are mad at Mom.
I don't know if they're mad at Mama or they're mad at me. Uncle Todd seems like him and Little Todd are mad at me. They don't ever want to hear from me or talk to me again, and I need to get my life in order.
What do you mean Little Todd?
Well, he's not little, I know. Little Big Todd.
Oh.
The one that was born 2.5 pounds.
Todd Taylor?
Yes, Todd and Taylor. But Todd lives where? You play with him online, do you know? You don't even know where he lives?
No.
Oh my God, he's in Florida.
What's Florida?
Florida. You don't know? Do I have to get you a map puzzle?
No.
You don't know your states? Come on now.
I know Florida.
I know you do. Don't play dumb with me.
What's Florida?
I mean, you weren't playing, were you?
Yeah, wait, what? Make me confused.
It's easy to do. Go lay down, Angel. So, yeah, Little Todd sent me a message telling me that I need to, apparently I shouldn't post anything to your website, your Facebook either. I guess I can't even tag you and stuff on that thing. I stopped
Tag me.
I stopped using it altogether now because of all the people complaining.
Yeah, if I don't get it. They were supporting me then.
Why? How is that supporting you when all I was trying to do was spread the word about Mum? They're supporting your name. Your name that I used on the account that I set up for you and you were never on. Ever. Were you? Were you ever on it, George?
No.
No. So it was never your account, was it?
Well, I'm
going to set up one in Elena and Will's name too once I write their story, but your book is in the making. My little superstar. Oh yeah, I'm still writing your book.
Why?
Why am I still writing your book? Because you have only lived a short time. Your story still has a long way to go. Look how big all the stuff I've been writing, and I've only been alive 42 years. I'm writing about Mum 70 years, with the help of her family, hopefully. Once everybody, that's hot.
That hot?
Mm-hmm. Once everybody's done grieving. Are you done grieving yet? Or are you still mad?
I'm mad.
Do you know what the stages of grief are?
What's grief?
Why don't you look it up? You know what Homer Simpson says, good grief.
Like jolly? Like G's? Bro.
Bro. Yo, bro. What's up, bro?
I need help.
My brother from another mother?
I need help.
Yeah, you need more than help I can give you. Let's see. Grief. Because now it's 1 month until the last time, we saw my mom alive. And that picture was on May 10th, on Mother's Day. All right, let's see. It says, how can I explain grief? Punched in the gut. Grief is like being punched in the gut during a fight. Worst case of flu. Grief is like having the worst case of flu ever. Like you're lugging around an extra 30 pounds. Being on a roller coaster, it's like a roller coaster ride because you're going up and down.
Yes.
With your emotions, which is how I was in the beginning, remember? All the crying and screaming. So, what is grief and the grieving process about? You have to acknowledge your pain. Nobody wants to acknowledge they're in pain. Even Aunt Sarah goes on to tell me in one message how they all lost a mother too, but in the next one to tell me that they're all doing fine. So even she's on a roller coaster ride of her life because she's fighting cancer herself.
Yep.
So I can't even mess with her. She's a Shiro. She's my Shiro. What are you laughing at? She is. Even though her husband's an asshole.
It sounds so weird. A Shiro.
Why?
What's a Shiro? Like
A female hero.
there should be a Firo.
Really? Because a hero is a he hero. So a Shiro is a she hero. Makes sense, don't it? So you have to understand that your grieving process will be unique to you. Everybody grieves differently.
Yes.
Poppy, like Aunt Peg said, men.
Yes.
Women grieve and men move on, was a saying she told me.
Yep.
Which was a saying I've never even heard before. At least not from my mama.
Mama,
You seek out to face You seek out face-to-face support from people you care about, like your family members, that you ask for help all year long. And the only thing they can do is what? When they finally call you, talk down to you, tell you you're not doing good enough. I mean, I could read the messages that they sent. Little Todd said I was the one who put the nail in Mom's coffin. Because he knows she's not in a coffin. Her body is still being studied.
Yeah.
She donated her body to science so other people can learn from her.
Science.
And I'm writing the book so that people can learn from my mistakes and her mistakes and what happened with the opioid epidemic, because I'm putting an end to that.
And he said, "You crazy."
I'm crazy.
You're crazy.
They all say I'm crazy. I keep telling them there's a sign at the door. I bought the sign that says I'm crazy. I know it. So you support yourself emotionally by taking care of yourself physically, which is what I've been doing all year. Haven't I? Getting off all that stuff and taking care of myself, eating healthy, making sure you guys eat healthy. No, get down. You don't get to eat healthy. You get dog food.
Well, it could be healthy dog food.
She does. She's got the what's it called that I mix with the kibbles and bits. So you have to recognize the difference between grief and depression. Because depression, it hurts all over. Like Daddy's depressed right now. You know that, right?
No, it's not.
Yes, he is. All of you are.
I'm not. I am not depressed.
I thought you were depressed about being home from school.
I don't like being home from school, but that doesn't mean I'm depressed.
No, I know. You're too young to be depressed. I would hope so anyway. You have it pretty darn good. I wouldn't be depressed if I was you either.
Are you and Dad getting a divorce?
Why would me and Daddy get a divorce? We love each other.
But you guys always just, keep fighting.
You know what we fight about? What other people think about me. Because he knows. Me and him have fun. We dance. We sing. We love each other. The only time we fight is when somebody calls, right? So I wish they would stop calling so that you don't worry. Your mom and dad will have a divorce. Like Aunt Natalie when she called Children and Youth and you thought you were going to an orphanage.
You sure it was her?
I have the proof.
Okay.
I know. She knows. That's all that matters. It'll always be, it's completely anonymous. But I know and she knows. Even her mother knows. There's Debbie who hasn't called me back. Who's grieving her sister.
Better stop begging.
So is it possible to get over grief?
Yes.
Of course it is. You learn from what those people, One of the reasons that grief... Go lay down. If grief happens to be triggered by external reminders, such as an anniversary reaction. So right now it's coming up on the anniversary. We're 1 month from her anniversary, and everybody hates me. Even your sister wants nothing to do with me, and the thought of having to come visit me and be stuck here for 2 weeks is the most, gut-wrenching thing she can even think of right now. Oh, I can't, I don't.
I know, right?
She don't want to be around me, I guess. I'm the one. I hope it ain't you guys. I mean, you do kind of smell.
Oh.
It's because grief is an emotion that sends a vague alert to help you to remember rather than forget. Even so, what most people do with grief is attempt to forget, to get over it, which is quite contrary to the purpose of the emotion. You know what that means? People try to forget the person that died, so they don't have to remember how much it hurts to miss them.
Yeah.
Hence the moving on part. So does grief have a timeline? Let's see. It cannot be mapped on a timeline, although typically its intensity should be negatively correlated with time. This means more time that passes, the less extreme and agonizing grief feelings should be. So good news, maybe by next year, 2021, people will have forgiven me and my mother and my brother. Let's just hope they can forgive them by May. I don't want to have to wait another year, do you? I'll certainly have our numbers change if that's the case, mine and Daddy's. Because him and I wouldn't survive another year of these people, especially during the war at home. Angel, you better go lay down. You're not getting any pizza.
Getting pizza, man.
Let's see.
Mom, I'm
Grief.
getting pizza.
Symptoms, effects on the body, duration. Here's the 5 stages. Okay.
The 5 stages of grief.
And everybody in my family is at the anger stage apparently right now. Excuse me. Oh my gosh.
Excuse me.
Georgie. We're only human. Okay. See, keeping my son's memory alive helps me grieve. I'm trying to keep my mom's memory alive, and my brother, and my father, and my husband, and my sons would rather not hear anything about it. That's it? What about all the other pieces? Aren't they part of something? You better get filled in.
Maybe.
It's like being in an ocean.
Yeah. They are.
No, grief. It's like being in an ocean.
Grief?
You're constantly getting knocked down by the waves of emotions. Especially when your family is knocking you over left and right.
No, they also have.
Confirmed cases, 666,573 in the U.S. Go lay down!
No what?
And PA has 27,735.
Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
In New York, that's pretty good. Anything below New York is good.
They're the worst, I know.
So what'd you put in the microwave that smells like that, Georgie?
What do you mean?
We're talking about the stages of grief. You don't want to be out here.
I put nothing.
We're live. I'm just kidding. We're not live. Well, I'm just taping 24/7.
Huh? So
Did
what'd
you
put
know
in
the stages
microwave?
of grief?
Nothing.
Stop being dumb, dude.
I'm not being.
What was it? Hmm?
Nothing.
What was it?
I didn't put nothing in.
Alright,
Don't hit him.
It wasn't me.
Stop fucking nigger.
Hey, watch your.
Hey.
What did you just say? You told me not to say that word, and you're saying it.
I'm talking to Kyle.
Is he black?
No, Kyle's not black.
Well, then why would you say nagger?
Kyle will kill him.
Who's Kyle? Our cousin?
Oh, you don't know Kyle? Oh, Kyle's Kyle. I know Kyle. Kyle is Kyle. Kyle
Here we
is
go.
Kyle.
Grief. It's a noun.
Stupid.
What is a noun?
A noun, a word.
Well, a verb is a word too.
When you say what's a noun?
What is a noun? What kind of word is a noun?
A word, a human, place, or thing.
What is it?
A human, place, or thing. Or is it the opposite?
Grief is a noun. Deep sorrow, especially that's caused by someone's death. She was under grief. Say excuse me.
Excuse me.
I really am taping. Do you mind? Every time, I'm always taping. Get used to it.
It's like bad. It's because I ate the egg. That egg.
What egg?
I had an egg.
On top of cereal?
No. I had cereal.
Excuse
Like
me.
a
Hey, I'm perfect too. It's normal. Just make sure you say excuse me and don't try to be so loud.
What are you talking about?
All right, let's see.
It's not that loud.
Definition.
Oh.
I want to see the stages.
Why do you always record?
It keeps you in good behavior. The stages of dealing with grief states two simple
What are you
definitions of
talking
grief
about?
are: one, the conflicting feelings by the end or change in a familiar pattern or behavior, and two, a normal, natural, and painful emotion reaction to loss. When lives are altered, be it good or bad, conflicts arise from the change of a period of adjustment follows.
I'm only being good because
Are you crying?
Do you not just hear her? Yeah, she is.
Go lay down. What do you want? What? What? Do you gotta go out? You were just outside. You wanna play? Tell Georgie. Oh, you wanna go for a walk? You wanna go for a walk, Angel? All right, Angel. Let me finish our grief conference here. We're dealing with the stages of grief. We're trying to help people.
No, we're not.
I am.
Yeah, you are. 100% you are.
Oh, well, at least you acknowledge. Angel, go lay down. All right, so
You're the emotional
stages of
person.
dealing with grief state. Two simple definitions are, I just told you, the conflict feelings to the by the end of the change of the learning pattern, and a normal, natural, and painful emotion reaction to loss. George,
What?
You can't hear me if you're talking, which means people can't hear me.
Which-
Angel, enough. When lives are altered, be it good or bad, conflicts arise from the change in a period of adjustment follows. That's every member of my family. Conflict right now. They're all being confrontational when we should be together. When it comes to adjusting to any type of loss, grieving is a process which requires time. You've got 1 more month.
What?
And then we're doing the lawsuit. I've already called the lawyer.
What's the word?
In various cultures, it is tradition and customary to take many days off work after the loss of a loved one or other traumatic event. Grieving people are encouraged and even required to grieve losses over an extended amount of time. Okay, so now you are home, you have no work, right? Nobody's at work, nobody's at school. They've had the last 11 months or 10, basically, to grieve their normal lives. Now they've got 2 whole months at home with nothing else to do but to journal, get your feelings out there, get your homes in order. Tell them, G.
What are you recording from?
Oh, what's up? That's crazy.
Are you actually recording this?
That is crazy.
Oh,
All right, number
God.
1 is shock. Everybody's been shocked by my mom. 2, emotional release. They're all emotionally releasing on me.
Hello, fishy.
Panic. My dad did that right away the night she passed away, and I said it. I took care of him. Guilt. Oh, I've been guilty all year. I'm still guilty. Hostility. Oh, I've been hostile. We're all hostile. Inability to resume business as usual activities. I will never go back to the business of usual activities as it was when she passed. I've made the change that's necessary to move forward, and I'm hoping that everybody else will help move forward with me. George, you're right by the...
This is a horrible
Put a
shot.
trash bag in there, please.
Whoever makes cracker, please.
Reconciliation
shut the
of grief.
company
At
down.
some point in the grief process, the decision must be made to come to terms with the fact that the loved one is gone and that life has changed. The span of time between the moments of intense grief will lengthen. As this happens, grief...
I'm doing it. Okay. I agree.
I agree. I agree too. Hope. Number 8, hope. Put it in there now, be done, and come sit down because you need to hear about this more than anybody else. You need hope. You need hope, George. Here, while you're up, will you throw this away from me, please? Eventually, The mind and the body come to terms with the loss. That took me about 6 months.
You didn't give me a slice?
I've been starving for years and didn't know it. You can eat. Hey, what are you doing? What are you? Hey, get. I'm shaking your head. I'm shaking your head. This boy gives me hope like no other. Out of all my kids, he's my favorite.
I do?
That's only because you're young and dumb and full of hope.
I'm not full of hope.
A little wet behind the ears too.
I'm not full of hope.
You're not? Aw, baby, how can mommy make you hopeful? Hope.
You can't!
Though the grieving process continues, the moments are not as intense as they once were. Or yet, as grief is reconciled, new things begin to happen. At this stage, life begins to become joyful again. Life begins to look hopeful again. The future, once dreaded, is now anticipated. I'm in stage, I have hope. The rest of my family, I'm guessing, is back with the hostility, inability to resume. I'm guilty. I don't know if you guys feel guilty, but maybe you should for the way you're treating me right now. Or at least you will when I'm gone if you don't come to terms with the fact I'm still here and this change is for the
you're talking
permanent.
to them. Oh, okay.
Oh, you know I'm not talking to you. When I'm talking to you, you'll know it.
No.
Oh, yeah. At some point, in order to move through recovery, the guilt must be released. I've released my guilt, even though it's still there and it won't go away. I released it. Huh?
You're guilty.
I'm guilty? I know. I put the nail in her coffin that's not existent.
No.
Emotional release. More often than not, when the initial shock wears off, emotionals begin to take over. So maybe the shock is just getting over for some of the people, like Todd and Uncle Todd, do you think? Maybe that's why his shock is just wearing off. Maybe they need a couple years. But I'm done. I have hope. I'm ready to resume new activities and make a new world for my family and move forward and stop looking back. And if that makes me crazy, tell him, Georgie. If that makes me crazy, then I'm crazy. Tell him she's crazy. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you busy working on your arts and crafts?
Yes.
And learning about grief at the same time?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about what we just learned?
No.
It says shock can last a few minutes to a few days. Apparently it can be a few months in my family. Often those who have experienced death, years, some of you.
What?
It says often those who have experienced death of a loved one makes funeral arrangements and phone calls as if nothing traumatic has happened. Because there's no other choice but to do that. I did it with my brother, Rosemary. I helped with Uncle Eddie's. I've been planning funerals my whole life. But now, all I want to plan is LizLife faithful celebrations like my mom's. It was the best one yet. I think, anyway. You've never been to anything else.
I'm gonna break.
What's the matter? It won't go in? You can do it, Jorge! You can do it!
It doesn't fit in the hole right.
Put it in that hole and
It
get it.
doesn't fit!
It has to.
It doesn't!
Well, it was only from the dollar store. Maybe, with mass
It
production.
doesn't fit!
Make it fit. Easy now.
No, you do it.
No, I'm
No, you
busy.
make it
I'm
fit.
teaching.
You make it fit.
When lives are altered, what?
You make it fit. It won't fit in the
I already read all
hole.
this. Okay, let's go back here.
Try to fit it in the hole. It won't fit.
So how do we get them through it? One, the shock and denial, I guess.
What the?
Anger, okay. Bargaining. Maybe they'll start bargaining. Depression and detachment.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
I think you're depressed.
No.
And I think your detachment is inevitable. It's time for us all to accept that she's gone. At this time last year, what was I doing? We missed Easter.
My baby.
You better stop right now, because people are going to think you have no heart. Grief.
That's what
Grief.
you said.
Denial. Grief is an overwhelming emotion. It's not usual. Just look at it through a kid's eyes.
I don't have a soul.
Not today, Satan. Not today. Show him jazz hands. Praise Jesus. We all be crazy in this house.
I'm not crazy.
No. And you don't want to be famous either. So the 5 stages: denial and isolation, which is pretty much our whole family. Even the ones that move far, far away. What are you doing?
I didn't have it on record the whole time. I'm joking. Your face.
You are clear not my cameraman. Never gonna be my cameraman because I can't trust you. You know, people are worried about your well-being.
Your face was priceless.
People are worried about your well-being.
The first thing you probably thought, I'll kill this.
Easy. Obviously, his well-being is fine. Get away from my freaking iPad right now, mister.
I'm joking. Get away. Hey. What are you gonna do?
I'll jump over this table.
I'll go under it.
Yeah, right. I can move faster than you. Alright, stop. Put them things over. Wait, you didn't finish the other one.
I can't. You have to put it in the hole.
Which one? Oh, like that?
It won't fit.
Alright, put that over here. Maybe Daddy's very good at getting it in the hole. Maybe he can do it when he gets home.
Yeah, that's why they made me.
What? Oh, madam, por favor. Papi. No. Complicated grief. Oh, okay. Well, we have complicated grief in our family. But if you're unable to move through these stages more than a year after the death of a loved one, you may have complicated grief. Again, you have a month, people. The year is up. I'll never move past it. But I am moving forward. And I'm trying to show my mom's beautiful legacy with all of her grandchildren, whether my brother and his wife want their photos as part of my story or not. And you're all just gonna have to deal with it. I'm Crazy Lizzie, like my uncle Crazy Eddie, and my mother. All of my heroes and sheroes, my aunts, uncles, grandparents, my daddy. Sometimes. I don't know. Definitely not my brother Todd. My husband. Definitely my hero, the genius, who has picked me up off the floor for the past 15 years and helped me keep a beautiful home while I was struggling. We started dating in February. We just had our 15-year anniversary. We went and saw Nikki Glazier in Fishtown. Great show. If you guys haven't seen her, I'm not sure who the other people were that opened for her, but I tried looking up their names too. They're all awesome. We've been having a great time since February, my husband and I. It took me 6 months to get off all of the medications and chemicals that were in my body. It may have taken 7 or 8 if it wasn't for the show New Amsterdam. What are you two doing? And then we have the dog. That's a whole nother story. That's for Walt Disney, the dog that saved our family. This little bugger was born the day after we lost my mom. She was a godsend, literally. Right, Angel, Margaret, Muria? You honor the ones that you've lost by remembering them. My Aunt Mary Ann is a professional mourner. My whole family will tell you that about her. Well, I've joined the ranks with Mary Ann. Together we have become professional mourners who believe in Jesus. We believe in God and the Holy Blessed Mother Mary, and especially her cousin, Elizabeth from Hungary. Another saint, much like my mother, who took care of widows and widowers, the homeless. She gave to the poor. For my brother to say my mom wasn't a saint, he would have to be grieving. And it may be a complicated grief that he's having. So I'll give him his time and his space, and he can put out his words if he wants, because everything that you want to tell about me or my mom that you're telling today is all stuff you should have said back in May. But get it out. It will help you move forward, as I have. I got it all out. I wrote the books on it. Now I'm talking to a lawyer because I've heard a commercial about a class action lawsuit against Purdue. What are you? Oh my God. I'm so so sorry. This is my life. Trying to save the world, my family. My immediate family is good, all except for my daughter who's not here and doesn't want to come visit apparently. And my brother thinks I should be her there. You know what I'd like to know? If Uncle Todd's daughter, Jameson, were in college right now, like you,
Yeah.
say you guys were grown and in college, and it was his daughter in her 4th year of college not wanting to come home for a visit.
Huh?
If it was his daughter, Jameson, who didn't want to come home for a visit for Easter, how would you feel, brother? Because I would tell you to leave her alone and let my goddaughter be an adult. On that note, I hope that's in the camera. Hold on, let me see. Oh yeah, that's all I need. 30 minutes.